INFPs, they have low extroversion, low organization, high openness to experience, and very high agreeableness. Usually, they are in between something like sugar plum fairies, so melt with 2 drops of water, or dark and depressed goths who don't care about anything in life since everything will end one day. But in reality, this is just a lame excuse to do nothing because they are extremely dependent and lazy. Or even to be misunderstood artists who only see life through the lenses of suffering, that cry and cut themselves and watch hentais of My Little Pony on Sundays. INFPs present a calm and pleasant face to the world. They appear to be easygoing and peaceful with simple desires. But deep down, the INFP feels intensely about their lives. INFPs do not share this intensity of feeling with anyone. They tend to be reserved in expressing it and reserve their deepest love and affection just for a selected few. They are easygoing, supportive, and affectionate in their close relationships at least, tending to have an apprehension towards social causes and alternative groups, feeling genuine concern and affection for their peers. And because of this, they can be slow to trust others and be cautious at the beginning of a relationship, but become fiercely loyal once committed. INFPs are generally adaptable and likable, unless one of their principles has been violated, in which case they stop adapting and become staunch defenders of their values. As a dominant function, FI, or introverted feeling, manifests itself as a moral compass that points to the direction in which to explore next. It is what makes INFP judge the world as right and wrong, good or bad, from a personal perspective that is rarely shared with others. This makes the INFP always weigh things up before doing anything. In one sentence, dominant FI would be, I must decide how I feel and where I stand on these issues before I can come to a conclusion about what to do. The auxiliary NE, or extroverted intuition, manifests as a function of perceiving the world in its infinite possibilities, which arise to support or expand a thought or decision of the FI, the dominant function. It is a characteristic that can make INFPs to like alternative, controversial, abstract, and unconventional things. It is what gives them their most artistic side, and also makes them imagine 1,001 scenarios in their heads without ever carrying them out. The NE auxiliary monologue would be, I see a million different ways of looking at the concepts I've been analyzing, and I want to consider them all. As a tertiary function, SI, or introverted sensing, gives an introverted perception of things, manifesting itself as a propensity for nostalgia, imagining the past and remembering the 1,000 things that happened in it. Because it is the childish function, these memories may not always be so good, causing the INFPs to toss and turn at night just before going to sleep. The SI tertiary monologue is, I will examine how my new experience and or theory compares to my past experiences or way of understanding the world. While FI values emotion, NE values possibilities, and SI values remembering things, the INFP ends up having little room for action and organization. The inferior TE function manifests itself as this inability to put external desires or plans into motion. It is a function associated with self-efficacy, the notion that an individual can do things in the world. And when the self-efficacy is low, the INFP's self-esteem also tends to be lower, because if they believe they are not capable of doing things in the world, they end up losing their self-validation, needing to look into other people for guidance. And this can lead the INFP to be easily controlled or manipulated by people who are not so well-intentioned. As TE matures, the INFP becomes increasingly capable of obtaining this external feedback in a healthier way, not by asking for validation from others, but by having their ability to express their thoughts, their emotions, and perceptions of the world to others in a direct and logical way, or even through a personal ability that is expressed outside, like through their art. The inferior TE monologue before maturity would be, I have many goals that I want to accomplish, but I often have difficulty putting them into motion in a tangible way. I am afraid of being seen as incompetent by others. And to overcome this, INFPs should appreciate using their openness and intuition better, as it is the way they express themselves to the world. And to develop this, INFPs should spend more time with other extroverted and expressive types such as ENTPs and ENFPs. Because they have such extroverted intuition, they can help the INFPs express themselves better in their own way and without judgment. However, the types that get along the best with them is in particular the ENFJs and perhaps ESFJs, who due to their extroverted feeling know how to communicate with INFPs in a harmonious way. And comparing with other types, the ISFPs are much more physical than the INFPs, expressing themselves more through their bodies, with tattoos, with dances, and postmodern art. They can also be seen more uneducated and aggressive, while the INFPs are more polite and affable. INTPs prefer to understand how things work, rather than feel what things provide. INFJs are much more spiritual and likely to create their own religions. ENFPs use crack and other drugs, while the only drugs INFP takes are antidepressants and anime. In fiction, they are characters like Ikari Shinji, Luna Lovegood, the Scarlet Witch, and Darwin Watterson. In real life, they are much more like Kurt Cobain, Vincent van Gogh, Keanu Reeves, and the Joker from the movie The Joker. If you are an INFP, I just recommend that you don't skip therapy, please.